Thinking about moving to Richfield, Utah? This small town gym has a lot to offer, but is it the right place for you? Stay tuned as I break down the top 5 pros and cons of living in Richfield, Utah. And stick around to the end for a bonus pro that just might surprise you. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Scott Walters with Best USA Realty. I am your Utah YouTubing realtor, and today we're diving into Richfield, Utah. Richfield is a city of about 7,800 residents, and the whole county of Sevier County is right around 21,000 residents. Richfield is approximately 160 miles south of Salt Lake City. So it's a small town that offers affordable living, abundant outdoor recreation, and just a quiet way of life. But like anywhere, it has its pros and cons. So if you're thinking of moving to Richfield, Utah, reach out to me. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I would absolutely love to help you, just like I've helped so many others relocate and sell in the state of Utah. So with that, let's get into it. Pro number 1, affordability. Now compared to the rest of Utah, Richfield is relatively affordable. In fact, the median home price for Richfield is $334,000. You go anywhere along the Wasatch Front, particularly in Salt Lake counties, Utah counties, Davis counties, your median home price is going to be $550,000, $600,000, and even higher in some of those other cities. So you really get a good bang for your buck when it comes to affordability in Richfield. With those lower home prices, you're also going to have lower property taxes. In general, utilities are also less in Richfield. So it's just a much more affordable lifestyle in Richfield compared to other parts of Utah. Con number 1, limited amenities. Richfield's kind of isolated. It's out there by itself, so it's not close to other large metropolitan parts of Utah, so you have less by way of shopping and dining. I mean, there's a lot of hamburger joints and fast food joints, but you don't find a lot of, you're not going to find a lot of those chain restaurants. You're not going to find like a Chili's or an Applebee's or a Long John Silver, or a Longhorn Steakhouse or Sizzler, places like that. It's just all going to be kind of local, homegrown restaurants in that area. And again, you don't have it. There's no shopping malls. You don't have like some big mall to go to. But there is a Walmart Supercenter. You have a Home Depot. So there is shopping. You don't need to drive to say Salt Lake or up in the Utah County area to find shopping. You've got what you need there. But as far as having access to big shopping centers, there's not a whole lot in that Richfield area. Now you do have basic health care there. You have the Sevier Valley Hospital just as you come into Richfield, just off of I-70, getting off onto the main road into Richfield. But if you want the bigger hospitals, you're probably going to be transported either down to southern Utah to the St. George Regional Hospital, or probably on up to the Utah Valley Regional Hospital. And lastly, there's just really not a public transportation system going on in Richfield. It's far enough away. You don't have all the UTA buses and tracks, light rail and front runner. Those things are light years away from Richfield. So you're going to need to have your own transportation, of course, to get around. You'll need a good, reliable vehicle. Pro number 2 has to be the outdoor lifestyle and recreation in Richfield, Utah. It's in the kind of in the central part of Utah, but a little more towards the south end of Utah. And it is surrounded, it's ringed by beautiful mountains. It's so close to beautiful places like Fish Lake, incredible lake and fishing up there. I remember going down there and visiting my dad's cousin Jack, and him taking us up on Fish Lake in the wintertime and snowmobiling, and we could snowmobile forever. Such a beautiful place. I remember going fishing there as a youth as well. It's also not that far away to the beautiful Boulder Mountains, which is just a little bit to the southeast of Richfield. Another great place. I mean, that mountain has thousands of lakes, great places to camp and fish. One of the other cool things is Richfield's home to the Paiute Trail, the ATV trail. And so a lot of people love to come down to Richfield and hop on that trail and just ride for miles to their heart's content riding their ATVs. So just one thing to note about the Paiute ATV trail, it has over 2,000 miles of trail, so it attracts people from all over that love to come and explore that ATV trail. One other thing that's really cool is how close it is to Utah's 5 national parks. I've got it written down right here. So to Arches National Park, it's about 190 miles to the east of Richfield, about a 3-hour drive or so, 3.5 hours. Bryce Canyon is a little closer. It's about 110 miles south of Richfield. And then Canyonlands National Park, which is also near Arches, is about 200 miles east. Again, 3.5 hour drive. And then it's quite close to Capitol Reef National Park. That's about 75 miles southeast. So it's about an hour and a half to Capitol Reef National Park. And then you're about 150 miles to Zion National Park, about a 2.5 hour drive. Now, one of the most beautiful places as you go down towards Boulder Mountain and Capitol Reef and the Boulder Mountain areas, you have Scenic Byway 12. That is an absolutely gorgeous road. It's about, I don't know, I'd say it's maybe 120, 140 miles long. Goes up over the beautiful Boulder Mountain Plateau, comes down an area called Hell's Backbone, where you're just up on this rock cliff on each side, or drop-offs. Goes past the Calf Creek Falls area. Super beautiful place, and that's one way that you can get to or come out and get to Bryce Canyon National Park, is on that beautiful scenic Byway 12. So if you're into the outdoor lifestyle with riding ATVs or going fishing or biking or hunting, Richfield is a perfect place to call home. Okay, con number 2, limited job market. Again, because it's more isolated, you don't have a lot of the high-tech jobs. All that's more in northern Utah, in the Salt Lake area, centralized around the Silicon Slopes between Lehigh and Draper. So that type of employment is not down in Richfield. Of course, you've got education jobs with the Sevier School District there, and of course you do have the one hospital that provides jobs in that area. A lot of agriculture going on in the Richfield area, so there's farming jobs in that area. So you're definitely going to either need to commute for some other job opportunities or have the opportunity to work from home. Let's talk pro number 3, and that is the quality education to be had in Richfield. The Sevier School District ranks above average in Utah for test scores and graduation rates. They also have smaller class sizes, so students benefit from more of the one-on-one attention from a teacher. And it's also considered rather safe with low crime rates there. So some of the schools that you have in Richfield, you have 2 elementary schools. You have the Ashman Elementary School, the Pavant Elementary School, 1 middle school, and Red Hills Middle School, and then of course the one high school, Richfield High School. But there is also a Snow College Richfield campus. Snow College, I would say, is probably 50-60 minutes to the north of Richfield, but that's where the main part of that campus is, but they do have an extension right there in Richfield. Con number 3 has kind of been laced in and out of this whole pros and cons, and that is Richfield's isolated. It's not near any of the other major urban centers of Utah. In fact, it is about 2.5 hours to Salt Lake City, so it makes it quite a drive if you're wanting to get to the airport in Salt Lake City. There aren't any major airports in Richfield. So again, you're going to have to drive up to Salt Lake City or even Provo. You got the Provo Regional Airport as well. Also, it's about a 3.5 hour drive away to Las Vegas. If you're flying out of the Las Vegas airport, so you got a little bit of a drive there. You're going to be probably about 2.5 hours down to St. George area in that part of southern Utah as well. You do have the satellite campus of Snow College there, but the largest university is Southern Utah University in Cedar City. And that's probably going to be about 2 hours away from Richfield. I also mentioned this too. I mean, you have less specialized care. You do have the one hospital there, but if you need more specialized care, you're either going to be going down to the St. George Regional Hospital, or probably up to the Utah Valley University Hospital, or even the hospitals up in Salt Lake. And then again, there's no major sports teams, of course, in Richfield or big concerts. All that's going to be located along the Wasatch Front. Pro number 4, low crime rates. In fact, the overall crime rate is 40% lower than the Utah average. Violent crimes are 70% lower than the national average, and property crime rates are significantly lower than larger cities in Utah. So that low crime rate just makes it a perfect place for people to call Richfield home, knowing they've got a safe community to live in. Con number 4, again, we've mentioned this throughout these pros and cons, and that is the limited nightlife and entertainment in Richfield. It's just a small town. Again, it's like 7,300 people, so you don't have big venues. You're not going to be having big Hollywood stars or singers or whatever you have it coming and doing concerts in Richfield. It's a much smaller venue and location. All the major sports teams in Salt Lake or in Utah are about 2.5 hours away in northern Utah and Salt Lake. So if you want to go enjoy the Utah Jazz, Real, Salt Lake, the Utah Hockey Club, the Salt Lake Bees, all that's up in in Salt Lake. And I know there's a lot of sports, college sports fans in Richfield as well, for Brigham Young University or the University of Utah, even Southern Utah University, and even Utah Tech University down in St. George. Well, you're quite a drive away to get to any of those things, to be able to go enjoy any of those sporting events and those activities that those universities offer. You don't have a whole lot of movie theaters in town. You don't have like miniature golf, all that type of urban entertainment that people enjoy. You just don't have that in Richfield. You're going to be traveling if you want any of that. But I think a lot of the people that live there because it is away from that, and they just love the quiet, peaceful lifestyle of Richfield, and also the great access to all the outdoor activities you have. Okay, finally, pro number 5 is the 4 seasons. Richfield has beautiful 4 seasons. You've got a very distinct winter, usually not super harsh there. I mean, you're going to see snow and all that, but it's not as cold as more northerly parts of Utah. You've got beautiful falls beautiful fall and great fall drives, very close to the Richfield area, where you can go enjoy the fall colors. The summers are beautiful. The average temperatures are generally around 80. There's days where you're going to get to the 90s, but the summertime, the weather is absolutely perfect. It makes it perfect for getting out and enjoying all the outdoor recreation that Richfield offers. And then of course you have a beautiful spring. Here in Utah, springs are kind of weird. They can all of a sudden, sometimes it feels like it goes straight from winter to summer. But many times we do have a beautiful spring where between March and April, it's just a kind of a gradual warm up. So there you have it. Pro number 5 for Richfield is the 4 distinct seasons, where you can enjoy all the beauty that those seasons offer. Let's talk the final con, and that is you can have some harsh winters there. That does happen, although I did say it's generally more mild there because it's not as far north as northern Utah. You do still have some winters there. There can be some times, particularly along Interstate 70 that runs right past Richfield. You can hit blizzards in there sometimes in the wintertime, so you got to have some good driving skills so you can navigate all those snowstorms that happen down there. I think the city is really good about getting the snow plows out and getting that snow moved, so you end up driving on dry surfaces. The road generally warms up enough here in Utah that it melts all that snow off the roads. We generally don't have ice and snow that stays on the main roadways very long. As it gets plowed off, it warms up enough that it also melts. Just know that you're going to have some winter activity and winter snowstorms to deal with in Richfield. The nice thing about it is it makes for fantastic snowmobiling. I already talked about that a little bit. Fish Lake's really close to Richfield, some of the greatest snow on earth for snowmobiling. I mean, you can snowmobile all day long and never touch the same spot of snow again. So beautiful snowmobiling opportunities because of all that snow. But down in the valley, sometimes it's a nuisance as you got to worry about moving that snow around. So let's talk the bonus pro for Richfield, and that is the small town charm, the close-knit community that Richfield is. Again, being 7,800 people, there's a pretty good chance that most people know each other or know of each other. So it's kind of they have a lot of great community events here. That's where they hold the Sevier County Fair. There's other events and parades that happen throughout the summer, the different events that they have in Richfield. Again, you have the ATV Jamboree that brings in people from all over the place to go enjoy that Paiute Trail. They do have the annual Pioneer Day celebration. That's the 24th of July in Utah. A lot of communities in Utah have a celebration on that day, which includes like rodeos and fireworks and parades. It just brings the community together. And again, there's just less traffic. It's pretty easy to navigate and get around Richfield. If you're looking for a place where you're not having to deal with a heavy commute and lots of traffic and cars, Richfield is absolutely the place for you. So there you have it, the 5 pros and cons of living in Richfield, Utah. Would you live here? Make a comment down below and let me know. And if you're thinking of buying or selling in Richfield, reach out to me. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. And remember, my name is Scott Walters with Best USA Realty. I am your Utah YouTubing realtor, helping people make that move and also to sell their homes in Utah. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap on that notification bell so you can stay current every time I drop another video about living in Utah. And if you found this video helpful, you might also enjoy my video about Sanpete County, which is where Snow College is located, which isn't too far away from Richfield. And you can watch that video by clicking on somewhere up here. Or if you want to know more about some other southern Utah towns like St. George, you can go watch my St. George video by clicking on somewhere up here. And with that, we will catch you on the next video.